Hello YouTube, how we doing today? This video is going to be shorter than others. Was kind of in a scramble. First off, I'm sorry. This video is super late. Didn't get a video out last week. Things have kind of been a real struggle lately. Anyway, that's beside the point. What we're doing today is yet another character overview or another character analysis. I'm in a different location once more, and I'm trying to see how this audio setup sounds, just in case I can't always get to the other location, because I think the audio sounds much better in there, don't you? That said, still gonna give this a go. Sorry for saying anyway, so today we have Kyle, the leader of the Banished. Disclaimer, still haven't put any stories on the wiki. The Sanctuary of the Banished is still not even a thing. Got lots of other things I also have to get done, and also gotta get through that new member phase and, get something to survive on the wiki. And so far I've submitted very little in way of actual things that people will look at. Not like I haven't been submitting to the green light board, and that's because I haven't really found something I think the rest of the wiki would find interesting here lately, and I just haven't had a whole bunch of time to write. These videos are really the only time I'm getting to write anymore. So, now that I've got the whole little thing set up on screen, let's finally dig into this, even though I'm officially a few minutes behind. As I said, he's the leader of the Banished. One of the things I wanted to talk about was his ability. Actually, I'm way ahead of the video, because I kind of didn't fly through this. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was his thematic ability command. I'm sure you'll see notes pop up for it before. So, one of the things that is highly recommended in literature not to do, and this is probably going to go down as one of those other times where you don't do it. The only reason I'm disobeying Dr. Sumerian isn't because I doubt his ability as a writer. It's because I tried to get his opinion on the context of how this ability was used, and I didn't get to explain it in context because I couldn't communicate with him as easily as I can do in this YouTube video. So all he knew about was basically the general idea of what it was, not any special context that it would have. So if I could have talked to him about this, that might have scrapped this entire idea. But now I've put some effort into this character. I say some because I'm still working on him, some things not happy about, so everything you see or hear may be subject to change, and for that I apologize if that does happen. Some things, most of the stuff here is pretty concrete though, and other things such as smaller details and such will be changed, and you guys wouldn't really have known about that, but we'll see. Maybe this is a terrible idea, maybe it's a really good one. So, like I said, his ability is command. It basically allows him to force someone to do something with his will. You can overpower it at the moment. At the moment, if you have a stronger will than he does, which often is pretty easy unless you've put his back to a corner, or you're a direct threat to the Banished. And I always thought this was interesting because of the way I wanted to implement it. And the only and I shouldn't spoil my tricks here, but I don't plan on this going up for a long time, and too many people probably won't even see this video, let's be honest, let alone read the tale, so I might as well just put it out here for things to remember when I come back to this series to help myself with writing notes. So, usually, you should never do a compulsion, and I demonstrate this ability mostly on nameless, faceless grunts and other people we really don't know about, so you can't really see how the compulsion affects them. However, keep in mind the position he's in. He is the leader of the banished. He's one of the three people that really holds the organization together and keeps this flock of wildly different individuals with varying personalities and different views and outlooks on life together, which makes it. And again, keep in mind his word is law. So, I'm definitely not hinting at anything here, but that's just an idea I wanted to toy with, and I really only intended for him to use his compulsion in certain instances and effects, but slowly to ramp it up over time, especially towards the end of the series. Where I really wanted to take with this was a sort of hero's fall. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. It's a lesson beaten into us quite often. I mean, just look at all the real-world instances. Specifically, one of the ones I'm about to name here, Stalin. So, here's where the video. I think you guys will definitely enjoy this segment of the video if you enjoy history at all. So, this story involves Joseph Stalin, the leader of the Soviet Union. So, I originally wanted to do an SCP idea for Stalin, about someone who just had absolute control over the situations they were in. Originally, the situations, they would, of course, try to assassinate Stalin, only for him to slowly overcome his assassins by giving them orders, and they'd freak out and forget what they were doing and carry on with his orders, before eventually trying to use anomalous means like 173 and other SCPs from the universe, only for him to boss them around and command them, leading to forcible extractions that would probably go terribly. I kind of scrapped this idea. Didn't really seem too good. There's probably also a bunch of other SCPs related to Stalin, and I could never really quite nail down the format. One of the ideas I had was doing a letter, a secretary's letter is what I wanted to call the article, and so the entire document is basically the only proof that the anomalous artifact existed, which was Joseph Stalin, and the only reason this happened was because the secretary played it off and managed to avoid his ire. So, I want to get in. So that's the inspiration for Kyle. I really got this from history class, and it involves a story with Stalin. And this is the inspiration behind this whole idea. Just something so overwhelmingly powerful. 'Cause the Soviet Union was a powerhouse back in its day. It was an evil powerhouse, but most places, if they tried to stand up to the Soviet Union, would have gotten steamrolled. That's the honest truth. You just can't compete with Russian manpower. And the fact that they could I like to say the one difference between America and the Soviet Union is America doesn't just throw lives at it, but they basically, the America and the Soviets could both mass produce everything they needed for a while there, which is what made the Soviet military so scary. They didn't even bolt down their tank treads. Instead, they just add a simple hammer, so every time the tread went by, it would smack the nail back in place. Which really, how Russia works, when, I know we have all those memes, it's quite hilarious. Anyway, I wanted to bring that up just because I know most of you would know, but as this video ages, I'm sure it will lose a whole bunch of context, so I wanted to throw that in there. And also because I'm not sure how fast the video is running. But as you can imagine, if you haven't paid attention in history class, Stalin was the man. In fact, his name meant the Man of Steel. So, the story goes, Stalin is having a party. He has all of his top brass, heads of intel, heads of state, all the different varying cabinet positions at his house. So the chef is preparing dinner. And you know, he's done this many a times. But it's soup night. And the one thing Stalin likes most when it comes to looks is his military uniforms. He really likes to show off that he's a man of the military. Even though the man wasn't that great at commanding the military itself and had a terrible track record. But anyway, so the chef goes out and he spills out the soup like he's supposed to. Pretty standard. Till he gets to Stalin and he begins to shake. He doesn't know why. He doesn't know how. He slowly reaches in and fills his ladle with the soup. And as he begins to pull it out, you know, his shaky hands, he goes for the dictator's soup bowl. And he spills it all over Stalin. Just completely ruining this beautiful white military ceremonial uniform with red sauce. As you can imagine, Stalin was a very paranoid man, and this slight was not going to stand in the least. So, the man disappears, as most people in the Soviet Union at the time do. Stalin's great purges really, absolutely dictated the life of the Soviet Union. So, a few months down the road, there's a new chef, of course, and a new party. So, he's trying to prepare and cook the food, making all these entrees, and one of the other workers has informed him of what happened to the old chef, and he begins to shake. He's scared he's going to mess up, because he's really taking to heart what Stalin has the power to do to him. And he's just terrified. It shakes him and rattles him to his core. He can't stand it. And he prepares the food. Everything's all right, absolutely perfect. It's not a mozzarella, it's marinara sauce this time. That may or may not be true, that just fits. So, he goes out to the table, and he begins spooning out the marinara with trembling hands. He doesn't spill a single drop on anyone, but he shakes the closer and closer he gets to Stalin. One more step, the shaking worsens. Another. I don't know how the man didn't come to tears before the great dictator. So he gets up there. He is an absolute train wreck as he stands before the leader of one of the largest nations in the world. This man with absolute power. And he goes into his bowl, trembling. You think this man would have just seen God and was watching judgment pass down on him. He lifts his ladle, just jittering, slapping the side of the bowl as he has trouble focusing and steadying himself. He pulls it out of the soup bowl and goes to pour some into Stalin's bowl. And of course, without fail, he drops the ladle. It spills all over Stalin. Now then, here is where things get interesting. Stalin calmly put his hand on the chef's shoulder, and he says, "It's okay. It's okay." I'm sure that was terrible, but I felt that it was obligated. Of course, he probably would have had a thick Georgian accent, but I digress. And the man stopped shaking. That is what inspired both the SCP and Kyle's character. This man, this absolute commander of men, who could both make you tremble as if you were facing Judgment Day, and a man who could make you stop simply because he wanted you to stop. The absolute power there. Now then, this is about to end. I think I only have a minute or two left. Sorry that I cut it short, but I felt that while the decrease in audio quality, possibly, and also length, I felt I would give you something at least interesting to sit and think about. And hopefully this can help you with your own characters, maybe give you your own designs. Now, I will say, I'm going to use this time wisely because I still need to do my thinking and stuff, but I will say, don't try and make these characters often. Don't try, and most definitely don't try and make them the protagonists, because this is a very thin and wishy-washy line, and it can be quite difficult. And as you can see, I haven't even started writing this series, and I'm already unsure and debating and making sure that I plot my course carefully, because one misstep and this entire subject can ruin the entire series or just absolutely irk people. So, quite a lot of nuance here. Not something you want to attempt on your first go like I am. I'm an idiot. Don't do what I do. But thank you all for watching, for listening to the side tangent, and I hope you enjoyed the story, the semi-narration. Sorry it's shorter. Your support means a lot, guys. Please tell your friends, tell your family, and get some people to watch me. I could really use the support. Life is stressful, and I'm trying to make it better, and I'm trying to entertain and help people at the same time. That's gonna do it for tonight. It's time to go chill and let a new week begin. I hope this brings a light to your day. If it does, please share. Not just to promote myself, but please give it to someone who you think this could help or would enjoy this content. With that, peace out, folks. See you next time. Or, I gotta do something techy. See you later, gators. Yeah, I think I'll make that the intro. Alright. Peace.